Sukuna has always been portrayed as the ultimate threat in Jujutsu Kaisen, a villain so powerful that even the strongest sorcerers struggle to stand in his way. From the very first moment he appeared, the anime made it clear that he wasn't just another antagonist, he was the king of curses. But what makes him even more frightening is the fact that the story has barely shown the full extent of what he can really do. His powers are not just overwhelming, they are world-ending, and if the series ever gave him full screen time and freedom, the entire storyline would wrap up in just a handful of episodes because no character would survive long enough to fight back. His domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine, is the biggest proof that Sukuna operates on a level beyond everyone else, and even though fans have seen glimpses of it, the full truth is way beyond what the anime has revealed. Sukuna's presence in the series is minimal compared to other main characters, but that small amount of screen time is enough to show the ridiculous scale of his power. The story intentionally holds him back because if he appeared more often, there would be no plot left to tell. Every major character from Yuji to Gojo becomes irrelevant the moment Sukuna gets serious. He doesn't just defeat enemies, he erases them, leaving no room for redemption arcs, emotional speeches, or dramatic comebacks. He is pure destruction. And what makes it worse is that he doesn't even need effort to reach that level. The anime constantly hints that the sorcerers are simply buying time, hoping for miracles, because logically, no one should be able to win against him. What makes Sukuna so terrifying isn't just the variety of powers he holds, but his personality behind them. He is arrogant, prideful, cruel, and actively enjoys hurting others. Unlike typical anime villains who bluff about their superiority, Sukuna has proof for every claim he makes. He doesn't fear consequences because there are none that apply to him. His confidence isn't based on ego, it is based on centuries of being untouched and unmatched. Characters with great power often show hesitation or moral limits, but Sukuna kills without thinking twice. His instinct is violence and he acts in a split second, making him dangerous not just because of raw power, but because his decision-making is fast, ruthless, and final. His greatest weapon among his many cursed abilities is Malevolent Shrine, his domain expansion. In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, domain expansions are considered the peak of sorcery, something only elite sorcerers can master. Normally, a domain creates a sealed barrier where attacks are guaranteed to hit. For most characters, using a domain is like opening a special, temporary arena where their abilities have maximum effect. But Sukuna breaks every rule that defines how domains are supposed to work. Malevolent Shrine does not create a sealed space the way others do. It expands freely into the real world, covering a massive radius that kills anything within range. While others trap enemies inside, Sukuna turns the entire surroundings into his hunting ground. The Malevolent Shrine showcases its deadliest ability by slicing everything within a 200-meter radius. It doesn't matter what is standing inside that space, buildings, landscapes, powerful sorcerers, curse users, or regular civilians. His slashes ignore durability, defenses, and barriers. If it exists inside his range, it gets cut. That power alone makes him an extinction-level threat, not just a villain. The technique doesn't just attack opponents, it actively reshapes entire environments. If Sukuna wanted, he could level entire districts of Japan in minutes without breaking a sweat. The anime only showed a fraction of this destruction, but even that was enough to confirm how hopeless the situation becomes once he activates his domain. Another scary detail is that Sukuna's domain doesn't follow normal boundaries. Most domain expansions rely on a closed barrier that traps the enemy. If someone destroys or neutralizes that barrier, the domain collapses and loses effectiveness. But Malevolent Shrine bypasses this rule completely. There is no barrier to destroy. There is nothing to break in order to escape. You characters inside the radius cannot use strategy or defense to cancel the attack. They simply have to hope they survive long enough to run away, which is nearly impossible. Sukuna is the only character in the entire series with a domain that operates freely in open space. This means that other sorcerers cannot counter him through technical skill. The only way to survive is pure one, equally godlike if such a person exists. Gojo is considered the strongest sorcerer in the series, and his domain expansion, Unlimited Void, is famous for being a top-tier ability. It traps the enemy in infinite information, overwhelming their senses and destroying their mind. But even Gojo's technique falls short when compared to Sukuna's. Gojo's power is conceptual, limitless in theory, but still follows the basic structure of domain rules. He needs a barrier and his power can be interrupted. Sukuna doesn't. While both characters operate at god-level strength, Sukuna's domain is the only one that breaks the system entirely. This alone proves that the story is setting him up to be untouchable, not just physically, but also mechanically within the universe of the show. The anime has only shown a small teaser of what Malevolent Shrine can do, especially during later arcs. Fans already saw him cut through entire city blocks with a casual activation. But future seasons are expected to reveal even more devastation, making the stakes higher and the hopelessness more real. When Season 3 arrives, Sukuna's presence will shake the entire power balance. Yuji and his allies are reaching a point where courage is no longer enough. They cannot simply train harder or unite stronger. They are facing an opponent who doesn't fight fair, doesn't follow rules, and doesn't recognize limits. Whatever new strategies they create, Sukuna already has the power to erase them before they even begin. If Sukuna ever unleashed his domain continuously at full force, the battle for Japan and possibly the world would be over. This isn't an exaggeration. His power is apocalyptic by nature. The only reason the story continues is because Sukuna is selective when he uses his power. When he fights, he often holds back because he enjoys the challenge and chaos. If he truly focused on pure destruction without playing with his victims, there would be nothing left to fight over. His arrogance is often seen as villain ego, but it is actually justified confidence. He doesn't just believe he is unbeatable. He has proven it across every fight so far. He is one of the few villains in anime history whose confidence is backed fully by ability. That combination of deadly efficiency, overwhelming power, sharp intellect, and no moral restraint makes him one of the most dangerous characters ever written in modern shonen storytelling. As Jujutsu Kaisen continues, fans will likely witness more of Malevolent Shrine's horrifying capabilities. What we've seen is just the surface. The deeper layers of Sukuna's power are still hidden. You're waiting for the story to reveal them at moments where everything is already at its worst. And when that happens, the real question won't be whether the heroes can win. It will be how many characters will survive long enough to even witness the fight. The series has created villains before, but none have been built with the same unstoppable energy as Sukuna. His design, personality, abilities, history, and narrative importance all work together to make him not just a threat to characters, but a threat to the entire structure of the story itself. When he enters the battlefield, the plot reacts, characters panic, and the audience realizes that even their favorite heroes could be gone in a second. Sukuna's horror disguised as power. And Malevolent Shrine is the final proof that he is not a character meant to be defeated. He is a force meant to be survived, if that is even possible. He isn't just a villain, he is the end.